Now, tagal lumabas ng notification. Yun. So now that we're recording, again, guys, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to our first and only meeting of the week. Welcome to our remedial synchronous meeting for week number 3. So again, my apologies for having a synchronous meeting on a Thursday, again, because due to the fact that we didn't have classes last Monday due to the holiday. It would be best for us to have this, even if we won't consume the entire 2 hours. Basta ma-meet ko lang kayo for the topic that we will be discussing and also the announcements that I'll be sharing with you right about now. Now pa rin, wala pa rin. Wala, wait lang. Okay. So yun now. Mali. Wait. Wala na entirely. Okay, sadly, I have to come up with a different browser. First and foremost, um, our topic last week, the second week of our midterm, was all about the philosophers. Having discussed Socrates, Plato, Descartes, and some others na hindi ko na-discuss, and hopefully you did read on your own during the asynchronous meeting. Um, Kasama po siya sa upcoming quiz natin. And yes, we will be having a quiz, but we'll get to that a little later. Now for the week 3, our topic to be discussed today will be personal identity, self-concept, and self-identity. So technically 3 topics po ang second meeting natin, and we will comprise it into one, and then the first topic supposedly and another segment nun. So we'll have technically 4 topics. Iiklian lang po natin siya para at least I can at least discuss or introduce them to you so that you can still open the Ugly Writers soul searching page and find it for yourself or breeze through it as we go along our discussion. Wait lang. Ayaw niya mag-open ng ibang shared item. Wait lang, let me turn off my video first. Oh, I see. That's right. That's right. Hindi niya inopen si Teams. At hindi lumalabas si Teams pa rin. At ayaw ni MS Teams. At new. It's new. Okay. Sucks minsan to use MS Teams. Not that one. This one. Okay. So that one. Okay. Window. Looks about good. And yeah, let's start with opening this segment muna. So hopefully you will see above me or above my mugshot our MS Teams on the desktop. So we'll try to read first our thread for today or attendance thread for today. Haba na kagad. Okay. So yeah, again the topic last week was were the philosophers, and for this week personal identity, self-concept, self-identity, and social identity. And then for the announcement, this weekend we'll have our first ever quiz one. That's MQ1. That's the first official graded quiz that we will be having. And I opted to have it on a Saturday because it was supposed to be today on a synchronous meeting or on our remedial synchronous meeting. Unfortunately, it will be unfair for you guys. So inisip ko na lang yung next best thing to have it on a longer period, which is the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Unless gusto nyo ng Friday, Saturday, which will work for me rin naman. Pero yun nga, you will have 2 days to take the quiz. The quiz will only be for 25 items, and that 25 items will cover from the the philosophers down to our topic this week or this meeting, which is self-concept, self-identity, and social identity. So, yun nga, at least you'll have at least more time to prepare or if not, to be ready lang. At para hindi kayo ma-shock. Hence the reason for me to dispense a conference call on supposed to be an asynchronous meeting. Okay. So with that being out in the open, our third activity for the week or for this term is as simple as getting or taking the Myers-Briggs identity or personality trait test, which is currently ongoing right now. So we have different results, and um, these results will vary. You may take it today and have a result like this, and you may take it next year and have a different result. Again, it won't be stuck. We won't be stuck on one personality kasi magbabago tayo. Behaviorally, syempre by mood, we will differ. So minsan like kay Rave kanina, sabi niya hindi raw talaga siya yan, pero yun yung nag-appear. It's most likely because of the answers that you put lang dun sa personality test. Hence, it gave you a different output or a different result, diba? And there will be case din naman na talagang nagbago yung personality natin na yeah, it's a fact that whatever changes we have mentally or psychologically will affect also our personality, and in that connected is our personality test score or result. Diba? Kaya kakaroon ng changes. Dati hindi rin naman sa akin, iba rin yung result ko, and now I found out that I am ENTJ, which is kind of yeah, ano rin, um medyo inline pa rin or medyo legit pa rin for me. Okay. So, with that being said, let's move to our topic at hand. Ano ba yung first topic? Yes. Now go to the PowerPoint file. Okay, so for personal identity, I have here with me the three Spider-Men or Spider-Mans in film. We have Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. What is funny is that I made this PowerPoint file way before No Way Home. Um, hindi pa ginagawa si No Way Home, meron na ako nito. That's why kahit pa paano, I'm quite proud of myself. Parang na-foresee ko na magkakaroon sila ng crossover silang tatlo. Pero, yan. Disregard natin yung pagpa-fanboy ko o pagbabrag ko. Let's now go to this particular topic. And how is this related to our topic today? At nawawala ang aking browser ng MS Teams. Ayun, there you go. I need to see your faces kasi if ever may nag-raise ng hands or whatnot. Okay, so, yan. Who is the real Spider-Man? And why do we have three? Siyempre, from the business perspective, alam naman natin bakit may tatlong Spider-Man because they need to churn out money. Diba? Kailangan nilang mag-release ng Spider-Man na movie kasi babalik sa original owner yung rights kay Spider-Man. Hence, Sony made a number of Spider-Man films. Diba? Kasi if ever, hindi ginamit, naka-stipulate sa kontrata nila, that babalik yung film rights sa Marvel or sa Marvel Comics, 'di ba? Dati wala pang Marvel films dati. So, 'yan. Okay. So, first we have Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So, si Tobey Maguire, he is the first ever Spider-Man on film. And with that being said, generic si Spider-Man Tobey Maguire. His main squeeze is Mary Jane Watson. And his main character development was when he disregarded his duty that costed him his Uncle Ben's life, 'di ba? Medyo lumaki yung ulo ni lumaki yung ulo ni Peter Parker, and he disregarded a criminal who passed by him. Namatay tuloy si Uncle Ben, 'di ba? And that became his driving force or his character development to being the superhero we now love and care for, 'di ba? Next, we have the second Spider-Man. We have Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is the first ever Spider-Man to create a Spider-Man universe. Um, before pa ng MCU, hindi naman before ng MCU, but before pumasok si Tom Holland Spider-Man, um, it was Sony's goal to create a universe out of Spider-Man. So if you have seen the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, they were supposed to create more Spider-Man films interconnectedly. Um, the Sinister Six, 'di ba meron parang teaser doon na andun lahat ng mga weapons or armors ng magiging kalaban ni Spider-Man in the future. Na tease po siya pero eventually due to the fact that we only had two films by Andrew Garfield, hindi natuloy yung third film and that was supposed to be the entrance opening for the for the universe or for the Spider-Man universe, 'di ba? Um, you will also notice that syempre recently we had Mobius si Jared Leto. They are inclined to continue Spider-Man Andrew Garfield kasi sa universe na yon hindi si Tom Holland ang Spider-Man doon but Andrew Garfield. If you will notice, yung isang poster doon, murderer nakalagay. It's because yun nga, ang kay Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, he lost his MJ. His MJ was Gwen Stacy. When he failed to protect her and she died, he lost it and he became kahit paano ruthless or more violent vigilante. Hindi na siya yung parang carefree, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but rather he's dark, he's brooding, and he's cruel sa mga criminals. And yun, kaya doon sa poster doon sa Mobius, if you will notice one scene na naglalakad si Mobius, si Jared Leto, andun yung Spider-Man na poster tapos nakalagay doon murderer. It's because in that reality, in that universe, medyo violent na si Spider-Man. And it was hinted sa No Way Home, which is fun, di ba? Medyo interconnected even yung PowerPoint ko. Na sabi ni Andrew Garfield Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield Peter Parker kay Tom Holland Peter Parker, there was a time that I stopped pulling my punches. Ibig sabihin, he no longer cared whether he killed his enemies or not. Unlike kay Tom Holland, unlike kay Andrew Garfield, medyo ano pa sila, medyo careful pa sila not to hurt, not to kill anyone. Bottom line, they never killed anyone. Unless yung kay Green Goblin na, yan, accident lang na napatay niya yung sarili niya, di ba? That's stupidity. Pero anyways, yun nga. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was the darkest Spider-Man of the three. And it was reflected din naman when he said that dun sa No Way Home. Ang difference ni Tobey Maguire with Andrew Garfield is not that shy. He is not a geek. He was not bullied. He's the angsty, talented photographer, teenager sa universe niya. And it's a far cry from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Diba? Syempre, ang love of his life there is Gwen Stacy and not Mary Jane Watson. It was supposed to be planned on Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 to have Mary Jane Watson there. Unfortunately, nakat po siya. Merong artista na nag-play nun. Minor character pa lang siya. And it was supposed to be on the third installment na magiging si Mary Jane yung love team niya. But hindi na nga natuloy dahil because of the reasons that I mentioned earlier. So, ang characteristics or personality ni Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is that he is charming and too talkative. Sobrang daldal niya. So, and it's still quite in line din with the comic book Spider-Man pa rin naman. Yun nga lang, walang kwenta yung villains ni Andrew Garfield. And it was also hinted dun sa film, di ba? Sinabi niya, ang boring daw niyang Spider-Man kasi si Tom Holland, nakalaban niya si Thanos. On Earth and in space, si Tobey Maguire naman, na-mention niya naman, nakalaban siyang alien, which is Venom. Siya ang wala, siya ang pinaka-boring, di ba? So, in truth, tama yun naman yung sinabi ko na parang boring yung mga villains ni Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Moving on to our last Spider-Man, we have Tom Holland. Tom Holland is the first and canon Spider-Man um that is included in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Again, if you're a Marvel character, you are not a Marvel character unless you're part of the MCU. Diba? We have other characters na hindi part ng MCU. We have Agents of Shield, dati si Daredevil, si Punisher, they're on Marvel Netflix shows. Pero ngayon, they were slowly, little by little, being included in the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe. Si Daredevil nag-guest appearance na sa Spider-Man. Um, si Kingpin na kalaban ni Daredevil appeared on Hawkeye. So lahat na sila inuunti-unti na ni Marvel i-consolidate into their universe. Yeah. Yun nga. Si Peter Parker, Tom Holland ang choice ni MCU or ni Marvel for their universe. They didn't like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man to be part of their universe kasi medyo matanda na si Andrew Garfield. And they wanted a really fresh face, a young face as their new Spider-Man kasi let's face it, all of the Marvel characters right now are dead or old na. So they needed new face and yan, having Andrew Garfield part of that almost the same age nila, 'di ba? The same age ni Jake Gyllenhaal, that's Mysterio, si Andrew Garfield, magkakabarkada sila actually. Um, so parang it won't fit the description ni Peter Parker na friendly neighborhood na superhero. Kasi ground level lang siya, as in parang small time superhero lang dapat si Peter Parker eh. Unlike with Thor, Iron Man, and yeah, Captain America na huge or big deal, di ba? So they wanted someone young, someone that is still a teenager. Okay? So Tom Holland's Spider-Man is naive but brilliant. He's young and impressionable. Impressionable meaning, yun, mahilig mag-idolize, 'di ba? Tayo, we love idolizing. We stan. We love to stan our idols, 'di ba? Oh, whether it's a K-pop idol, a celebrity, Taylor Swift. We love to stan kasi we're very impressionistic. Ganun si Spider-Man, ganun si Tom Holland Spider-Man. He adored or he worshipped Iron Man, 'di ba? Which is very much the same in the comic books. But the difference lang is halfway ng Civil War, si Spider-Man lumipat ng kampo. Pumunta siya kay Captain America. In the movies, hindi nangyari yun. Pero he learned to respect Captain America rin during that time. And especially sa Endgame, they fought together na, di ba? Anyways, not so much for being a comic book fan, sorry. Okay. He is the only version where Uncle Ben is not his character development. So, syempre, um, when I made this, wala pang Homecoming or wala pang No Way Home, we all know that his character development is in the form or is in the character of Aunt May. Si Aunt May yung nagsabi at nagturo sa kanya na with greater power comes greater responsibility. Diba? So, dun siya yun yung bagong reboot ni Spider-Man. Gone are the technologies from Stark or from Iron Man, and he has no friends. He is living in poverty. That's the original Spider-Man. Yun yung Spider-Man ni Tobey Maguire. Diba? Yung kailangan niya ng trabaho and hindi siya makapag-maintain or makapag-retain ng work because he's switching from the personal life, private life ni Peter Parker and the public life of Spider-Man. So, ang hirap niya i-manage yun tapos nag-aaral pa siya, di ba? So, yun yung plano ng Marvel for Tom Holland ngayon. For his next three films, for his next three films, yun yung planong gawin ng Marvel for our Tom Holland. Parang version niya ni Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. On his own, trying to get to college without friends, and syempre, dirt poor, yan ang tunay na Spider-Man and that's the one that we love and adored sa comic books. Okay. So, sir, anong connection? Anong connection ng tatlo? It all boils down to what our topic for today, and it is all about tada! Personal identity. Personal identity, ito ang sino tayo at ano tayo. Personal identity is how our origin is reflected in our personality, in our behavior, in our mood swings. Diba? Um, like ako, as I've noticed, I'm very generous. I'm very generous with my wife. I'm very generous for myself. Yung luho namin gusto ko na achieve or na acquire. Just because when I was young, we are not that off, well off. Um, Life or money back then was tight. Mahirap ang buhay noon. I was not able to buy the toys that I like. Yeah. So it was only in college. It was only in college wherein I was able to acquire money for myself. Back in high school, I started working for my dad's company. And then in college, habang nag-aaral ako, nagbibenta ako ng Yossi. So, in a way, that paved my way to valuing hard-earned money. Diba? So ngayon, now that kahit paano I'm earning well or we are earning well, gusto ko ma-achieve yung hindi namin naranasan or hindi ko naranasan dati, which is yun, to eat good food, to go to places, ganon ganon. So parang yun yung reason ko why I'm like this now, and that is part of my identity. Bakit ako generous sa akin? Bakit ako ma ba't magastos? Parang gano'n. Okay, pero yan nga, gano'n natin made-derive yung personality natin, and that personality will be kahit papaano a default personality. Kahit magbago tayo ng ugali, magbago tayo because of the heartaches, heartbreaks, and failures sa buhay natin, we will always have that prominent personality na hindi mawawala or hindi na magbabago sa atin. The rest will eventually change, pero yun, consistent siya sa atin. Okay? Okay, so I'll just move my face. Dahil tinawanan na ako ni Peter kanina, I'll just move my face to the left or to the right. Yeah. Okay. Personal identity is the concept you develop about yourself that evolves around the course of your life. This may include aspects of your life that you have no control over. Again, wala kang control dito. Pagkapanganak mo, hindi mo kontrolado. So, yan, that's personality, and yun yung effect. At ang effect nun is how you will be or how you will act as you grow older. Um, Skin color, again, no choice tayo dyan. If we are born with dark skin, yun, pwede tayo magluta, pero we will always have dark skin by nature. Di ba? Kahit pumuti ka, di ba, nag-gluta or whatnot, nag-ano ka, if you will not maintain that, babalik ka sa tunay mong kulay. Di ba? That's why they maintain it. That's why they are afraid of the sun. Nagpapayong sila. It's because of that, di ba? Ngayon naman, pag sa aircon, di ba, nakatapat ka sa aircon, pumuputi ka, pag konting init lang, babalik ka sa tunay mong kulay, ang itim mo. Whereas yung mga mestiza, mapuputi by nature, kahit anong babad nila sa mukha, mamumula lang silang konti, tapos fresh na ulit. Diba? Tingnan mo si Sean, parang gano'n eh, parang sobrang puti ni Sean eh. Feeling ko pag naarawan, yung parang mag-glow lang siya, masisilaw ka lang sa mukha niya. Pero after that, konting pawis lang, pero hindi siya mangingitim. Diba? Unfair eh. Pero di ba, totoo naman yun eh. Di ba, yung iba sa atin, gusto magpaputi or nagtatry ng kahit anong skincare, pero you have to maintain that. Di ba? Ang personal identity is like that. Kahit anong gawin mo, gawin mo itago, it will always emerge. It will always mangingibabaw. Okay? There are some, not all, pero there will be some na mariretain. No matter how much we hide it. Okay. So, yan. The problems of personal identity. Ito ang problema natin sa personal identity. 'Di ba? Sinasabi natin, 'di ba? One of the personal identities that we can think of is yung origin natin. 'Di ba? Sabi natin we were born poor. 'Di ba? We are born poor. We don't have any say on that, 'di ba? Kasi talagang mahirap tayo pinanganak. Pero sinasabi nila, it will be your fault if you will die poor then, 'di ba? But then again, you will have to consider the differences natin mga tao. Some people will have money to invest on cryptocurrency, invest on stocks, invest on properties. But others, they can only get by on a day-to-day basis. Diba? Kahit anong sahod nila, nagpapaaral sila ng kapatid, sila yung nagsusuporta sa parents nila, di ba? So, again, don't expect people to say na you should invest. Kasi ba, mali yan, dapat nag-invest ka. Kasi, again, wala nga silang pera para sa sarili nila because they are helping their family members, eh. May gano'n, eh, 'di ba? Kaya minsan naiirita ako sa mga if ever you're a insurance salesman or saleswoman, don't be offended, pero minsan naiirita ako sa mga pitch ng mga salesman na parang, "Dapat nag-invest ka ng stocks, nag-invest ka sa insurance mo." 'Di ba? Eh, yun nga, eh, hindi nga lahat ng tao born equally, 'di ba? They don't have the same privileges as well-off people or as people na nasa middle class na can spend or can save a little for insurance or for investments like that, 'di ba? So, gano'n din sa atin, um, personal identity yun, eh. Minsan there are personal identities na it can be to our disadvantage, 'di ba? Like skin color. Skin color natin, tayo gusto natin ano, maputi tayo, 'di ba? Eh, lalo na K-pop is or the Korean culture is currently at an all-time high. Ang pinaka powerful sa atin ngayon or at least pinaka influence sa atin ngayon are for people with white complexion or light complexion, 'di ba? Paano na kami mga nog-nog, 'di ba? All-time low kami, 'di ba? Pero if you will go to the western countries, if you will go to the US, walang sinabi yung mga mapuputi sa atin dahil una, mas maputi pa rin sila sa inyo, and second, mas type nila mga moreno o morena. They love our skin color. Diba? So again, depende pa rin yan sa how the kind of perspective you will look at it. Pero seeing from our perspective, tayong mga Pilipino, minsan it's a disadvantage pag maitim tayo and all, 'di ba? Sometimes hindi sa skin color din 'yun. Puwede rin siyang pumasok sa ano, ayan, again, about financial capacity, na-mention ko na nga rin 'yung kanina. There are more aspects that produce or that create our personal identity. Tayo kunyari, some people will be jokers here, 'yung parang komedyante or parang laging masayahin, ah, pero deep down they are troubled in their homes. They have a bad relationship with their parents or with their jowa. Kaya gusto nila masaya sila away from that. That can be a possibility, 'di ba? There are others naman na sobrang perfect ng buhay nila that they just want to be happy. That they seem to think na I should be happy kasi I have all these kinds of blessings. Again, iba-ibang causes why we are like this right now. And we can attribute it or all of it to our personal identity. Yan. So minsan, you get to ask, who am I? Outside the philosophy, personal identity usually refers to properties to which we feel a special sense of attachment or ownership. Someone's personal identity in this sense consists of those properties she takes to define her as a person. What will define me as a person? Am I the kind of person na parang am I a professor that is funny? Am I a professor that's strict? Am I the professor that's lenient? So, again, iba't ibang personality ang pwede kong i-develop and pwede nyo makita depending on the time, depending on the day. So, for example, yung sister ni Bidel, um, she may have known me differently from how Anne will know me today. Diba? Kasi iba yung ugali ko dati or iba yung maraming nag-factor in kung bakit ganun yung ugali ko dati or bakit ganito ang ugali ko ngayon. Diba? So, again, ganyan tayo. Not just me, but all of us here, may mga factors how certain variables ng buhay natin will affect how we behave. So, ikakat ko na itong mga existential questions natin dito. Kasi it's all about, yun, pondering, di ba? Knowing thyself. What thoughts come to your head when you think of this? So, i-disregard na natin yan. And we'll move on to our next topic, which is um, self-concept and social identity and self-identity. Okay, so let's stop this and move to the next slide, please. Ay, hindi pala slide. Okay, so for the next one, it's actually a video. The video is about, yeah, the second topic that we will have. which is also connected with the first. Kaya nga, I tried to cut it early kasi madidiscuss din yun lahat dito sa next na to kasi parang kinompare niya yung personal identity with social identity. So, again, mabuti nang hininto ko kagad para we can spend more time listening to this one rather than maging redundant lang lahat. Okay, let's just stop the recording. And I know that this would work. So I'll be moving my mugshot again to this one and just sharing it with you using the sharing of screen style. Well, MS Teams sucks minsan. Okay. So where is the video file? Okay. Please give a thumbs up na lang if ever you can hear the video when I play it. Did anyone hear the sound? Ulit. Wala man na nag-thumbs up kung narinig nila yung tunog.
Wala pong sound, sir.
Wala
Wala.
po, sir.
Wala pa rin yun.
Wala rin po pang thumbs up.
Yun yung masaklap eh. Thumbs up. Wait lang. Include computer sound. I check that. I click on the video file. Ito na po siya. Uh,
Sir, wala pa rin po.
Wala pa rin po.
Oh, wait lang. Naka-stop sharing. Naka-share na ako dito. I'll try from OBS. Let's see if it will work. Trip naman. Nakakabaog. Wait lang. Ano nakakabuo sinabi ko? Sorry. Tayo. And again, thumbs up na lang po kung may thumbs up kayo if you get to hear this.
Sir, wala pa rin.
Wala pa rin
Wala
po.
Wait.
Awit.
Check your privileges. Oo nga eh. How come? Check computer sound. And the next is this one. So i-play ko. Should I play this one again from the very beginning?
Wala pa rin po, sir.
Wala pa rin po.
Okay. So maganda yung discussion dito. Unfortunately, none of you can hear me, can hear it. You can watch it on the topic threads, pero gusto ko lang i-discuss yung parts, yung key aspects na sinabi niya, which is very boring kasi gusto yung boses niya, ganda ng boss niya. Okay, sige. Let's move to the first. Yeah, ang ganda. Umaandar siya mag-isa, di ba? Okay. So, like nasa sa main screen ko dahil walang kwenta. Dad. Okay. Yan. Una sa lahat, this lineup. Self-concept and self or identity formation. Una sa lahat, second topic natin, self-concept or self-identity is broadly defined as the sum of an individual's knowledge and understanding of self. How you perceive yourself. Diba? Like, you're a guy. By fact, by legality, you're a guy. That's personal identity. Pero self-identity naman or self-concept naman is ano yung pananaw mo sa sarili mo. You're not a guy, you're a girl. Diba? That's self-concept. Diba? That's your sexual preference. That's self-concept. Okay? Ano pa ba? Kunyari lang. Personal identity ko is I'm strict. I am ENTJ, di ba? So I'm highly organized, highly, hindi naman manipulative, ano ba yung term? Gusto ko ng order, gusto ko ng structure, gusto ko ng discipline, okay? So that is my personal identity. But unfortunately, hindi, yun yung self-identity ko. Yun yung pananaw ko sa sarili ko, okay? Pero how you perceive me will be different then. Kunyari, ano bang pananaw ni Beadle Ann sa akin will be different from how I see myself. And that is what we call naman social identity. Iba pa yun. Okay? So again, ang self-concept natin, tingin nyo sa sarili nyo. Ang personal identity natin is your, hindi naman God-given, pero yung original being mo. If you came from a poor family, if you came from a modest family, if you came from a loving family or a bad family, yung parang broken family, these things will affect you from childhood to adulthood. Okay? Separate siya kung ano tayo o anong tingin natin sa sarili natin. Okay? So again, ang self-concept ko is I'm a strict person. I am up for order. I'm up for the structure. I'm up for discipline. Ganun ang self-concept ko. But social identity naman or self identity ko 'yon. But ang social identity ko will be different. It will be based on how you perceive me. And that's also how I will perceive you pag kayo naman yung pinag-uusapan. Self-consciousness is awareness of oneself. Yan, sometimes you have to be aware of how we are, who we are, and how we are perceived by other people. Diba? Alam nyo ba, most of you may know something or at least 50% about yourself. Actually, marami tayong alam about ourselves. The problem lang is that we don't have tangible evidence to back it up. You don't write about it unless you write about it. Diba? You have your journal, you have your diary that you can read through yung personality nyo. Diba? On a different perspective. Kayo pa rin yun, pero on a different eyesight, on a different mood nyo binabasa. And it's like, it will feel like you're reading someone else's life. Kasi hindi kayo yun right now. Diba? So, that is, yun nga, personal identity kasi sarili niyo yung inaalam nyo. Pero, when you are aware or self-aware, you're not just knowledgeable about who you think you are, but also how people think you are. Or how people think, or who people think you are, parang ganun. Sino kayo sa mata ng mga kaibigan nyo? Sa mata ng boyfriend nyo? Diba? Kunyari, si Sam. Sam, Bidal Sam, do you have a partner? May jowa ka ba?
Wala po.
Wala. Hanapan natin. Gusto mo?
Pwede, sir.
O yeah, kunyari, si Sam lang. Sam, may jowa si Sam. Sam thinks na she is a caring girlfriend for her partner. Caring girlfriend siya, loving and submissive, ganun. Feeling niya ganun. Pero when they have a talk, and eventually you will have a talk with your boyfriend, or you should have a talk with your boyfriend, malalaman nyo iba pala yung perception ng jowa nyo sa inyo. And it's because of that. Kasi hindi kayo aware how people think about you or how people feel about you. So, when you say self-awareness and self-consciousness, dapat both sides may idea kayo. Not just about yourself, but also how others see you as a person. Okay? Self-concept includes physical, psychological, and social attributes. So ito yung para sa atin lang to. Wala tayong pakialam how people perceive us, basta tayo, ito yung pananaw natin. Mataba ako. Psychological, I'm psychologically capable naman. I'm quite smart. I'm quite capable. Sana all may jowa. Wala nga raw jowa si Sam, Trisha. Yun. And social attributes, I'm actually an introvert. Introvert ako, but because of work, I have to, ouch, I have to be familiar. I have to know how to talk to other people. So, yeah, that's how self-concept works. Physically, psychologically, and socially, dapat nagko-factor in sa self-concept natin. Um, Individuals have beliefs about themselves known as self-schemata. So ito nga yung self-identity natin. ang tawag doon is self-schemata. It's how you perceive yourself. Minsan kasi, our self-perception or our perception about yourself, hindi nyo po daw sure. Our perception sa sarili natin may be wrong. Diba? Hindi porket tayo yan, tayo ito, alam na natin na ito tayo. Sometimes, mas tama pa yung ibang tao. Diba? Kasi minsan, we are clouded by judgment. We are clouded by insecurities. We are clouded by discrimination or self-discrimination. So, hindi accurate yung pag-perceive natin sa sarili natin. And sometimes, other people's perception are more accurate than ours. So, ang tinatawag doon is self-schemata. So, yung belief natin, personal belief natin or belief natin about ourselves is called self-schemata. So, doon, yun yung self-identity natin. Yun nga lang, sa self-schemata, regardless of tama or accurate or not. Okay? So, you have to be aware lang how you perceive yourself. Tama ba yung perception nyo sa sarili nyo to how others perceive you? Kasi there are chances na mali tayo. There are chances na tama tayo and mali yung perspective nila sa atin. Diba? You may have encountered that na parang recollection, retreat, mga bullshit na ganyan. Bullshit. Yung mga events na ganyan, you get to open up and people get to open up with you. They will say na, ay, may nakita akong meme nga pala nun. Yun. Yung mga beach mode, yung dati silang mortal na magkaaway and then they become close friends. Yun yung mga friendships na that will last longer. And syempre, dun papasok yung parang, oy, alam mo, nung una kitang nakilala, kala ko bitch ka, parang ganon. Diba? And that is that is first impression, diba? So you get to see how people perceive you and you can gauge whether they are accurate or not or whether you are accurate or not. Gusto sinasabi, baka mamaya totoong bitch ka pala. Nagkataon lang friends kayo, kaya parang that person can overlook your bitchiness or kawalang hiyaan mo, di ba? We'll never know. Diba? Let's move to the next slide. I'm sorry kasi ayaw niya mag-view. But you can view this. I posted the link already here. Yan. Okay. So again, dito papasok kanina yung self-identity and how it differs from social identity. Yan. Personal identity is one's own sense of personal attributes. Yan. You're funny because life is good to you. You're funny because life is hard and you want to you want to escape that harshness. That's why you're funny or you're trying to be funny. You're smart because you were well educated, or you're smart because your parents are loving and that they care for you and that they taught you personally, diba? So maraming varying reasons how you are like that or why your personality or why your personal identity is like that. Diba? As mentioned kanina natin sa original topic natin sa Spider-Man PowerPoint presentation. Ngayon naman, social identity is again can contrast that personal identity. Social identity consists of social definitions of who you are. Yan. Ito, we let society judge us or identify us. Gender, lalaki, babae, di ba? Again, whether you change your gender or not, people will still perceive you as man or perceive you as woman pa rin. Race natin, even if you get to be naturalized Americans or naging Canadian kayo, from others or from others' perspective, you are still a Filipino. Diba? May ganun eh. Religion. Again, it will vary rin. For now, you're a Roman Catholic. Maybe 5 years, 10 years from now, you'll be an atheist or agnostic like me. Diba? So again, yun yung social identity natin and that's how people will perceive us. Whether it's true or not, then that's the challenge of being alive. You have to kahit paano either rectify or just don't care and don't correct people how they perceive you. 'Di ba? Minsan wala tayong pakialam, parang I don't care. Importante lang kilala ko sarili ko, mga ganung bullshit, 'di ba? Pero it's nice then for people to know the real you. Hindi yung tipong wala kang pakialam. Okay. Meron ba dito? Meron dito walang pake? Sino dito walang pake? Sinong walang pake dito? Again, don't be ashamed if you lack ang pake. Normal yun na minsan normal na wala kang pake kasi 'di ba? You don't earn from them. You will not be able to monetize their pake naman eh. Pero still, siniwala. I used to care a lot about how others perceive me. I used to be conscious to an extent na it disabled me to be who I am right now. Kasi parang alam mo parang restricted ako, parang people keep expecting more from me kasi nga I'm a doctorate degree holder. I was able to study in Ateneo. So parang naisip nila parang ay dapat si sir iba ugali nito, dapat mapagmataas to. So parang ako hindi ko alam if I will be ano ba tawag dito? Should I be flattered? Should I be mocked? Will I feel discriminated? Kasi nga ganun yung tingin nila sa akin. So again, minsan it's disabling. Kayo, if you have heard perceptions about you na hindi totoo, pwedeng hindi. Pero sometimes, I don't know, I want to know people if ever they felt na parang na-restrict sila sa ugali nila or na-restrict how they should show their true selves sa ibang tao just because of that impression. Hindi ko alam kung konsensya ko ba yung nagsasalita or what. Holy Spirit, nasaan ka man? Okay. Okay, sorry. Balik tayo. Asan ba ako? Ayun. So, yun nga, sa social identity natin, we will be, kahit paano, hindi naman measured. It's not measuring. It's more like parang yun nga, the impressions that they will give you, minsan it will kahit paano it will disable you eh. It will kahit paano it will block you to kahit paano express who you really are. Kasi minsan tied ka na doon. Takot kang magkamali, takot kang masira mo yung impression nila sa'yo na ang bait-bait mo raw. Even if you are really nice, minsan takot ka nang gumawa ng pagkakamali kasi nga parang you don't want to ruin how they see you as a person, parang ganon, 'di ba? So, it can be related to yung local relationship natin, pang jowa, 'di ba? Pwede rin naman pang family, 'di ba? If you think that your parents thinks highly of you, sobrang taas ang tingin nila sa'yo, and that yun pinag-aaral ka nila mabuti and you're a good daughter, sobrang takot kang magkamali. 'Di ba? May mga ganon. And that's social identity pa rin. Kasi again, we are restricted to a particular community, which is your immediate society, which is family. Yan. So this acronym is intended for us to get to know how we are observed, how we are identified as a person. Addressing. During normal synchronous classes, lalabas yan or papagawin ko yan sa klase, but because of time constraints and yun nga, gusto ko lang i-introduce sa inyo yung concept na to, hindi na, di ba? Pero at least hopefully you get to, no, sige, gagawin natin yan next week during synchronous. Pero yun nga, addressing is an acronym for a lot of factors like this one. Yan, okay, sorry. Ang tagal ko kasing hinihintay. Okay, so buuin na natin, although I'm sorry you weren't able to hear any words pala dun sa sinasabi ng guy. So yeah. Okay, so addressing is an acronym for a lot of things. First is age. Age is varying. age is a variable. Bakit? If I ask Anne Bidel, how old are you now?
18 po, sir.
18. Sweet 18. If I am to ask her the same question last year, how old will she be? Pag tinanong kita, kung tinanong kita last year,
17, sir.
yeah, galing sa math. Woo! Okay, di ba? Di ba 18? 18 siya ngayon, and then syempre, if I am, or if she was asked last year of the same question, iba yung sagot niya. That is the type of identity na varying, di ba? Age is a variable. Di ba? Lalo na if you will be doing your research or your thesis, one of the demographics, variable demographics is age. Kasi it will vary depending on when you will ask it. So age is a variable. Right now, I'm currently, how old do you think I am? Pag nagkamali, bagsak na sa UTS ah. How old am I, Miss Antimano?
18, sir.
Ang galing. Okay. Joke lang yun. Pero yeah, ganun nga. So again, age is a variable. Second, disability status. So currently, you guys won't have any disability. Ako, I am probably having one. I have, sabi ni Sam 18, I have astigmatism. Astigmatism is, itong glasses ko, sorry, wala pala akong salamin or wala pala akong video. Where am I? Where's my face? Okay, wait lang. Tago na sa mukha. Natago na yung mukha ko. Okay. These glasses, mababa yung grado nito. But I use this for my astigmatism kasi sumasakit yung mata ko pag inaatake ako ng astigmatism. I use my glasses so I can read longer, I can read more physical letters or digital letters. I can read easily. But I am having difficulty driving at night kasi para akong alam mo yung naka-anamorphic lens ka, yung parang parang music video ng mga K-pop, yung sobrang bright, sobrang mailaw. Gano'n yung paningin ko, parang mabubulag na ako. So, that's my disability. Sa dad ko, disability niya siguro is hearing. So again, it is a variable din, di ba? For now, you don't have any disability, but who knows, maybe in the future, you will have one. Fortunately, ako, kahit sa tabakong to, I don't have, wala akong, hindi mataas ang cholesterol level ko, or hindi ako high blood, so kahit paano, I function normally. Aside from my nerve damage, bionic na yung kamay ko. Hindi na bionic, pero yun, last quarter of the year, last quarter of 2021, nagkaroon ako ng nerve damage. So, from neck to hand, to right hand, hindi ko na magalaw. Yun, iyak tawa kaya ako nun. Iyak, mostly iyak. Kasi nga, takot ako kasi syempre, di ba, as early as my age last year, parang akala ko magiging baldado na ako forever. Pero fortunately, I was able to recover. Nagano ko na yung kamay ko. Pero nga, it can be considered as a disability. I can no longer do weights. Pag nag-workout ako, hindi na ako makapag-weights. So mostly puro yoga and hits na lang. Pero in your case, syempre, you may have or you may develop some disabilities later on in life. I'm not hoping or praying for that, pero again, because of old age, syempre, you will eventually encounter some. R, R, R. Third one is religion. Again, religion, you will be born with one. With your birth certificate, lalabas meron kayong religion. Pero eventually, you will probably change it. Probably. You will be born as born again Christian or as Roman Catholic, and then you will eventually die as someone else or as something else, di ba? Yung iba nagpapalit ng religion or ng sekta, nagiging Iglesia ni Cristo, nagiging Dating Daan, nagiging Muslim, nagiging Buddhist. So again, there's nothing wrong with that. Pero again, it's what we're saying na it's a variable. Okay? Letter E or fourth is ethnicity and race. Ito, fixed to. Ethnicity is, ethnicity can change supposedly, di ba? If you are, if you're a Filipino, yung ethnicity mo is Filipino. Pero when you change nationality, magkakaroon ka ng pagbabago rin. So, dinifferentiate niya yung E sa N natin. And I'll get to that to clarify things. So ethnicity natin can vary. Diba? Pilipino ka ngayon and probably a few years later, you'll be Canadians or a US citizen, di ba? Punta tayo, mag-jump lang tayo saglit sa N. N is national origin. National origin kasi siningitan nila ng origin. So ito yung discrepancy or difference ng E and N. National origin is kung ano ka pinanganak. If you were born a Filipino, even if you change your nationality, your ethnicity, naging American ka, naging Australian ka, naging Chinese ka or Japanese even, you will still be considered a Filipino kasi yun yung national origin mo, 'di ba? Kahit on documents you're no longer a Filipino, national origin states that you are a Filipino. Okay? So yun yung hindi variable kasi isang beses lang yan kasi origin eh. Given or remove that, then it will become like ethnicity rin. It will change. Sexual orientation. Ito, sexual orientation, this can be a variable. Di ba? Especially if you have, yun, nagkaroon ka ng change in taste or in preference. Dati you like a guy, now you like a girl or vice versa, di ba? That is sexual orientation. Diba? I don't need to elaborate on that anymore kasi you know the drill naman. Next is socio-economic status. Ito, socio-economic status, dito sinasabi nga na pinanganak kayo mahirap, pero it is not certain din that if you will die old or die poor, di ba? So maaring yumaman ka, maaring mayaman ka dati, maghihirap ka. So again, it's a variable. Diba? So you can say middle class, upper class, lower class. Again, it will vary depending on when it is being asked to you. Indigenous background, kung meron lang kayo indigenous background, yeah, we have indigenous families or tribes here in the Philippines. If you belong to one, then good. If not, your indigenous tribe is or indigenous background is you're a Rizaleño. You are Miss Bachini, you're from where?
Tarlac, sir.
Ano bang tawag sa Tarlac?
Tarlacenyo po.
Talaga? Totoo yun?
Yes, sir. Tarlacenyo.
Okay. Ito pala, kala ko parang joke time ng Tarlakenyo. Okay. So, yan. Yung Tarlakenyo, yun yung parang pinaka-indigenous background yun na. When you say indigenous background, hindi naman porket indigenous yun um, parang Igorot or Mangyan, hindi naman ganun. Just so, yung municipality nyo, yung immediate municipality nyo, other than being a Filipino, ano pa yung parang background mo? And that is, kahit paano, in a sense, indigenous. National origin, dito nga. Kanina nga, kung ano yung kayo pinanganak or saan kayo pinanganak, that will be it, di ba? Hindi kayo magbabago. Kasi origin naman yung nakalagay. If you say nationality, then it can change. Yun yung ethnicity natin. The race can change also. Lastly, gender. Itong gender, hindi magbabago to. By document. Gender will be the same. If you're a boy now, you will be a boy forever. Pero, again, meron tayong sexual orientation. Magkaiba yon, di ba? Sexual orientation, ito yung maaaring magbago. You're a man now or you like women now, but next time you will like girls or women and girls. You will like boys, di ba? So, yun yung gender naman. Yun naman yung sexual orientation and yun nga yung difference sa gender. So, in your public documents or in government documents, yung mga trans, they still have to say that they are man or that they are male, di ba? Unless stated na merong sexual orientation na box doon. Sexual orientation, lesbian, gay, gano'n. Pero if not, you are by law required to answer man ka pa rin or male ka pa rin or woman ka pa rin or girl ka pa rin, okay? Or female, parang ganun. So these are the different variables or different factors to consider your identity, whether social identity or personal identity. Okay? So ito po yung addressing. Addressing with one D lang. Okay? So yeah, ano pa bang kailangan ko i-share? Yeah, that's about it. Wait lang. Share. Ito, framework na lang naman to. Na-discuss ko na rin to. So, ito nga. With with the addressing, may framework siya, it will range you how important it is or how powerful it is. For age, the best age is adulthood. Age namin, 30s to 40s to 50s. And then elderly, pag 50 to 60 to 80, kung gaano sila katatanda, di ba? Bakit? Kasi when you're young, di ba, you don't have money. You have time. You don't have power. When you're old, you have money, you don't have time, you don't have power anymore. But so again, dito mini-measure lang naman which peak you are or you belong to, di ba? Pagdating sa age. Sa disability status again, if you are capable or incapable already, religion again, ang domineering na religion is Christianity pa rin, and then siyempre the lesser but equally important pa rin naman lesser religions, we have Jews, Muslims, non-Christian religions. Again, it's all from the perspective of the society. Hindi siya batas. So there's no in a way it's discrimination. 'Di ba pag sinabing Kristiyano ka, tas ibang lahi, pag Christianity ang domineering sa country na yun, tas ibang religion ka, 'di ba parang minority ka? 'Di ba, like when I was in the Middle East, ang majority doon is Muslim. Tas ako, I'm a Catholic or I'm a Christian. So I'm a minority there. So again, addressing in a way is affected by our society, our current society. 'Di ba? Yeah, ethnicity is the same. Euro-American ka, people of color. Sexual orientation, heterosexual. If you're straight, if you're not, yun, i-describe kung alin ka doon. Sexual orientation, syempre, di ba, even if we Filipinos or the Philippines say that we are progressive, that we are flexible, that we are open-minded, there is still this stigma. There is still this discrimination when you admit that you're gay, when you admit that you're a lesbian, di ba? So it is still a lesser power from the perspective lang of this framework. So di ba yun yung problema? Hence, that is why some people, some gays, some lesbians still have a hard time revealing their true sexual orientation. It's because of that stigma. Di ba? That's the sad life. Napaka hypocrites natin when we say we are progressive, that we are open-minded, whereas yung mga simplest things like that, yung sexuality, we we give too much shit, 'di ba? Or we give too much bad rep lagi, 'di ba? Socioeconomic status again, owning and middle classes. Owning classes, ito yung mga upper class, yung you own you own businesses, you own certain properties. Middle class, ito yung you get by. And then yung socioeconomic, these are the poor and working class. Ito yung syempre nasa lesser power. Majority sila kasi mas marami pa rin na mahihirap kumpara sa mayaman. Pero ang powerful is those people who are rich, those people who are in politics, those people who are in the CEO board or the board of directors, sila yung mga yun. And sana all na lang, di ba? Indigenous background, so if you're part of any, if you're not, then disregard. National origin, so pinanganak ka sa Amerika or immigrante ka, so dun yung origin, dun nagre-reflect yung origin natin. So ang powerful, syempre, if you were born from that location, and lesser power if you are just an immigrant or you're a refugee. Sa Pilipinas, you're most likely an immigrant kasi, well, frankly saying, people would rather migrate, not emigrate. Emigrate yung pupunta dito. Pero magma-migrate ka, aalis ka ng Pilipinas. So, most likely ganun. Foreigners would love to stay in the Philippines because of the value. Baba ng palitan natin, so they are instantly rich here in the Philippines. Kaya maraming tourists gusto sa Pilipinas. And syempre, there are more foreigners that would love to stay here for good. Dito yung retirement plan nila dito. Kasi sa mura ng bilihin, sa mura ng cost of living dito sa Pilipinas. And syempre, gender, as we have mentioned, alongside sexual orientation. So those are the addressing part. yun yung framework, and this is yung parang hierarchy of power ng bawat factor natin ng addressing. So with that being said, okay, so those are the personal identity and self-concept. Try to watch the two YouTube videos. The one is with this one, itong guy na nag-explain ng addressing and ng self-concept versus personal identity. And another one about personal identity naman na katulad siya nung ginawa kong Spider-Man. But this time, it's about Doctor Who. Try to watch that. And yeah, prepare for a very short, very meaningful quiz one. Very meaningful quiz one. Meron ba nga? Napaka-bullshit. Pero nice, yun yung point ko. Sana mag-enjoy kayo sa quiz one na iti-take nyo this coming weekend. So that's it basically for our emergency remedial synchronous class for this Thursday. So maraming salamat sa mga dumalo. Napaka-Tagalog, sorry. Maraming salamat sa mga nag-join, all 33 of you guys. Thank you for providing time for this class. If ever you have any questions before we dismiss, now's the right time to ask. And if not, you can ask the Beatles or you can ask me through them if ever there are any. So guys, your quiz will be open as early as 9 a.m. on a Saturday and it will end on a Sunday 6 p.m. Try not to take the quiz saktong 6 kasi in the middle of the quiz magka-cut na po siya. So yeah, ingat na lang po kayo doon. And the quiz again will be about the philosophers and under the philosophical perspective topic natin. And then yun yung week 2 yun 'di ba? Dalawang meetings natin, it's all about that. And then for this second week, we have personal identity and self-concept and self-identity and social identity. So yun lang naman. Very easy, and most of the items or all of the items there will be found on our materials sa Ugly Writers page natin, or if not, nakalink sa topic thread natin, which is still under Ugly Writers soul searching page natin. So yun lang po yung tatlo, basically 3 topics that we have on the quiz. Marami lang doon is philosophers. Medyo nagsingit ako doon ng mga dates, although it's not as important as the contribution, pero wala lang, para may masabi lang akong nagpa-quiz ako. Sa lista no? Pero yeah, it's open notes naman, so you should have no worries at all. If ever you're using your browser or desktop, try to have all the materials open at your disposal. So when you take the quiz, you can just switch from one tab to another. If you're using your mobile phone, then it will kind of be a little more difficult. So yeah, try nyo mag-take sa desktop so it will be more advantageous for you. Again, I always make it a point to have the activities way in better kasi mas nakikilala natin sa sarili natin doon. Pero syempre, it's still part of the university's requirement to have objective quizzes. So, nagpag-objective quiz ako. Yun nga lang, sobrang dali and sobrang open notes. So, it's all up to you how you will manage it. So, basta good luck and yeah, be resourceful and have a great weekend pa rin, guys. Thank you for joining and bye-bye.
Thank you po,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po,
Program mo
sir.
ngayong gabi.
Thank you po, sir. Thank you po, sir.
Sino yun?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sana masarap ang ulam niyo mamayang gabi.
Kaya anong ulam mo kanina?
I love you.
Happy
Wala,
birthday,
wala.
Sam.
sir.
Ito.
Happy birthday, Sam.
Sky
Ay,
Face.
happy birthday, Sam. Happy birthday,
Yes, sir, si
Sam.
Bidal. Si Bidal.
Ha?
Ay,
Sir, masarap ulam mo.
Ay, Bidal, birthday mo ngayon?
Yes, sir.
Na-exempted na daw sa
Guys.
quiz.
Yeah, true.
Exempted na.
Sam, you're exempted sa
birthday
quiz.
daw.
Sir, birthday ko din po pala.
Yeah. Lecture. Si Sam lang ang may birthday ngayon. So,
Sir,
Sam,
para pong gusto ko din mag-birthday.
Actually, ganun po talaga yung birthday ko na usog lang nung March.
Sam, it's
Yes
your
po.
birthday, so exempted ka sa quiz natin. Again, papalo lang naman siya kung saktong meeting natin because hindi lang tayo nag-meet nung Monday, kaya hindi tayo makapag-quiz ngayon, pero supposedly dapat ngayon yung quiz, so exempted ka ngayong meeting. You can take it pa rin, pero whatever score you get a perfect score, okay?
Wow!
So,
Wow! Na sinabi. din na sinabi.
Thank you, sir.
Hindi, kasi importante yun. I'll tell you why after your first quiz, bakit kailangan pa rin ni Sam mag-take ng quiz 1. Sige, babay na.
Buti
Thank
na lang,
you.
sir, sa March
Bye
midterms.
po.
Char.
Ah. Bidel, paki-remind sa akin ha. Sam, paki-remind sa akin na exempted ka.
Yes po, yes po. Thank you
Sir,
po.
Salamat.
kailangan po
Bye-bye,
ba
guys.
namin i-comment kung ilan yung attendance ngayon, sir?
Sa tali natin. Oo.
Okay, sir.
Ay pa.
Thank you.
Birthday daw ni Trisha bukas. Trisha, lapag ka nga ng birth certificate.
Namagan ng birth certificate. Sir, dali lang i-edit pa. Paano ko sa recto?
Ayun nga, dami usong photo editor na ngayon. Sige, wag na. Okay, bye-bye!
Thank you, sir.